Yo. Yo. What it do, y'all? I don't know if y'all know nothing about this, but it's that priceless. I ain't gonna tell you made it because you might cancel me. But it's up. What it do? Coming to y'all live on 6/22/2023. It's your boy Nico Blunts. Welcome y'all to Nico Knows Wrestling, ladies episode. But I had to get myself hyped up. I mean, I was already hyped when I see this because we getting that much closer to Forbidden Door, which is on Sunday. I can't wait. Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay. I can't wait. Daniel Bryan versus the Rainmaker Okada. I can't wait. Yeah. Well, let me go ahead and pause that for y'all so we get on into this recap of the latest episode of AEW Dynamite that I'm going to be reviewing and recapping here. I'm still working on getting the graphics up, y'all, so just bear with me. I tried a new software last week with Audacity, and I put the wrong format on it, so my video just would not upload. So I went on ahead and I said, you know what, I'm going to do ahead and record it again. It's a good time for me. I just got off work a little early, getting ready to start on up. And so the first thing that we start off with this episode of AEW Dynamite is going to be MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, the AEW Heavyweight Champion versus Adam Cole, baby. You know, and this right here is going to be an AEW Heavyweight title eliminator match. And so with that said, if Adam Cole is able to defeat MJF, he's going to earn a shot at the AEW Heavyweight Championship at a later date. I was pretty excited about this match, being that these two, I can't recall them having a match on the Indies or so. And so I was really excited for Adam Cole to move on beyond the Chris Jericho program that he had. I was so glad that ended. I don't even want to shit on it, but man, wasn't a fan. The matches just did not hit for your boy. I'm going to be real. Them shits just did not hit. You know, I had to take a hit of my cigarette real quick, you know, before I get in. Yes, kids, I know they are bad, and I am trying to quit. But Rome wasn't built today. But let's dive on into it. So, of course, we got both the entries of both men coming out. I like the move that MJF did after he got away from Adam Cole. He started off by hitting the Rick Rude, the ravishing Rick Rude move that I used to love to do as a kid. My mom used to make me do it for all the company that we have over and shit. Looking back, that shit was embarrassing. But I was a huge wrestling fan, and I used to like hit it. I even hit it right now. I ain't got the abs for it, but boy, let me get that midsection right. Let me get them abs like my boy at EC3 or some shit. You ain't better tell me to put a shirt on. I promise you, I'm gonna be allergic to wearing shirts. But yeah, I even hit the Ric Flair strut in there, the Nature Boy. Hit that in for him real quick. Also, like when he's kind of stopped the match and he went out into the crowd, knocked the fan glasses off. And I know some people are real sensitive about that. This guy honestly did not seem to mind. And really kind of goes with MJF's gimmick of being a damn jerk or prick, as Tony Schiavone would say. Tony Schiavone. But anyway, yeah. Great super kick, by the way, from Adam Cole. Looked like he even got a little blood from MJF's mouth. So I know he slapped the leg. I saw the leg slap. Once I got exposed to me, it's hard to miss a leg slap. But that kick, he leaned into that shit. MJF, his facial expression was always so great. He looked at loopy, very loopy there. And these guys actually went for a long time. A lot of great reversals. I love the tombstone on the apron by the MJF. Man, that shit looked good. You know, MJF can really go. He doesn't wrestle as much, and I know a lot of people have a gripe about that, but that guy can go. He can get in there with anybody, and his shit looks good, man. You know, there was a long count during the picture-in-picture. I tried to stay invested. That's when I usually go take a bathroom break. Sometimes it's really hard to see with the picture-in-picture. Also, I love the transitions to the Salt of the Earth and him locking that in. I even love the name of it. I mean, it fits him, right? That definitely fits Max. And then MJF got up on the top rope, put Cole on the announcer's table, and he drove a Randy Macho Man elbow right through Adam Cole's chest. And he got up, he gets back in the ring, and MJF didn't even care about pinning Adam Cole. And that's another thing that makes me love his character even more. I don't care if I beat you 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring, long as I win. As long as I win, as long as I'm still the champion, as long as I'm still holding it up, that's all that matters. And that's why I like MJF. You know. And then he gets a nice reverse German on the apron also. I love that. That was Cole, by the way. And then they end up going back and forth, trying to use the Dynamite Diamond ring. The referee grabs the ring and wrenches it away from MJF. And Cole is able to come in and hit a series of moves. And also he goes in to hit him with the boom drop again, the running knee. And this time, I didn't like I didn't like the urgency that Adam Cole had. I felt like, you knew, I don't know if you knew the count. Nobody did. There's no announcer telling us what the time is. And right as he's going for the pin, 1, 2, ding, ding, ding. And everybody's just like, what the hell just happened? Comes out, they had reached a time limit draw. And I ain't like that. I felt like that was a tease. I really felt like they teased us with that. I get the storyline purpose behind it, being able to extend the feud. There's no definitive winner. There's no definitive loser. So, of course, the program can extend. But you got MJF scheduled now to face off against Tanahashi, which I'll get to probably in the next couple of days. As this week's Dynamite, I still got to watch. But he ends up having a challenge from Hiroshi Tanahashi for the AEW heavyweight title. And of course, in the classic MJF fashion, he puts down New Japan like some indie wrestling company and no, kick rocks. I'm not doing it. So of course the match going on. And that's going to be a dream bout for some people. I'm not too familiar with Tanahashi. I've definitely seen some of his matches and everything, but I'm not going to sit on here and lie and act like I am a New Japan historian, because I'm not. I've definitely watched more WWE, WCW, American wrestling than I've watched of Japan. So I'm not even gonna, try to not even do that. And then we get to the Sammy Guevara interview here. When Darby comes out and interrupts, Sammy's just saying how he has more work to do. And you can hear some fan support, but it was like once he said something about him winning the AEW championship and then having a baby, the crowd kind of like booed that. Like, no, he ain't about to be our champ. I still think Sammy is much better as a heel. I know they're trying to go towards with this face thing. I think the only next logical move would be a feud with Jericho because it's about time. You're much more over than, just being Jericho's lackey or so at this point. But Darby Allin comes out, and Darby tells me, if he called him, I forgot. Chris Jericho also comes out at this point, and him and Darby have a little interaction. And I did like the one line where he told Jericho, where he said, hey, you might be a wizard, but when you get in the ring, the magic is gone. And man, that shit made me just ball laugh, just absolutely crack up. But Sammy and Chris start talking. Yeah. And so Sammy and Chris start talking, and Chris tells Sammy that why hadn't he called him? And if he had reached out, he'd be standing before him right now as the AEW Heavyweight Championship. And Sammy replies, well, why didn't you call me when you faced off with Adam Cole? You took 2 losses to the guy. Maybe if you called me, you might not be 0-2 against Adam Cole. He also even took the loss to Roderick Strong, but I'm not trying to count. I'm not trying to add on Chris. I'm just simply a viewer. But you can tell that it seems this is where it's going to be headed for Sammy Guevara. At this point, it only seems right, and I really think he can maybe get to being a babyface, eventually going up against Chris. I didn't do Adam Cole any favors, but hey. And so eventually you have Sting comes out, and him and Jericho have a face-off. And one I've recently learned where they never actually really even shared a ring before. Crazy to think both of those guys were in WCW at that time, and all that time never shared a ring. Insane. And so then we end up getting to a 8-man tag where we have Darby Allin, Sting, Keith Lee, and Orange Cassidy versus the Mogul Affiliates Embassy or Mogul Embassy, which is going to be the Gates of Agony, Swerve Strickland, and I forgot the last guy's name in there. I'm not even going to lie. Brian Cage. I don't, God, how could I forget Brian Cage? He even had the makeup on, the Sting makeup, which is a great callback with the Sting tights with his mohawk. I saw a picture that they took on Instagram. That shit was pretty cool. But anyway, I'm not a big fan of Keith Lee shaving his facial hair. I feel like if your hair's going to be that gray, I don't want to see the baby face. He just looked better with the gray beard, you know? It's weird to getting used to seeing you having gray, but I had to understand that was actually your real hair color. You were actually dyeing your hair in NXT and in WWE with the black hair. So it only makes sense, you know, hey, let it out, but it just looks weird. I'm just, you know, black men without facial hair, I don't know. I just felt like my boy could pull it off by not by having his mustache and goatee back. Bring the goatee back, my brother. But also a great swing powerbomb combination by the Gates of Agony that they performed in Orange Cassidy. And the finish, man, because this was a match that was a lot of chaos. Definitely wasn't my favorite, even though I do love to see Sting in my Tony Schiavone voice. I just felt like if they were going to give these guys the win, and I kind of assumed Sting was going to win when Sting was involved in the match, I just think you could have picked a different guy to take the pinfall. I mean, Swerve is just challenging for the AEW Intercontinental title, and he's been a tag team champion in AEW, so he's kind of a big deal the way he's booked. The Gates of Agony and Brian Cage are the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champs. I think they beat Dalton Castle and the boys for the belts, if I'm not mistaken. But you have Brian Cage take this match, and you can't tell me you couldn't have the least in shape guy on the Gates of Agony, because the other guy is really, really ripped. I can't think of his name. I think it's Quana or so. But you can't. You have Brian Cage take this loss. How many TV losses has Brian Cage taken? It's not like Brian Cage can't wrestle. It's not that like he doesn't look good. So what the hell is it? Why is he taking this many losses? And something, you know, you want to make me suspend belief and believe something, have someone else take the damn pin. I just thought that was stupid. That was my only issue with that, besides it being kind of chaos and all over the place, but it was a Sting match. So again, I'm always excited to see Sting. And so we get the Guns, who I kind of really enjoyed and really grown over me this last year or so. They get out and they challenge the Hardys to say who's going to be the best brother tag team in AEW. And I really think the Guns are probably going to go over here, being that they're a young team. They kind of need the wins over a more established talent. And they can possibly get back up to rekindle a rivalry with FTR at some point. I don't think anybody wants to see it right now, but maybe at some point they could bring that back. And the next thing we have that took place after this match was we get to, by the way, I did like the Barry Gordy tattoo that it seems, I don't know if it's Colton or Austin. I forget the names. I got it. I'll do better, guys. I'll do better. But they have a really damn nice Barry Gordy tattoo. And so then we come to the Wardlow versus Jake Hager match, when it's like, man, Jake Hager is really collecting a damn check over there at AEW, because I think the guy maybe wrestles 5 times a year out there. I know he's training and doing MMA stuff. Shout out to Big Hurt. Big Hurt, Big Hurt, Big Hurt. But he ends up attacking Wardlow on the entrance ramp. Also, I felt like AEW could do a better job with rubber matches and using video packages, something that WWE seems to do in an overkill kind of sense, but AEW can learn from doing that because you keep it a fresh reminder in the crowd to the audience, and you give us some continuity. Like had Excalibur not reminded me that this is a rubber match, where the first one I remember Wardlow winning in the cage match, and then Jake Hager ended up getting the win when they had it. And this was back during the feud of the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle. So that's a couple years back there. It's a couple years back. And I definitely think if they could have got a video package in to kind of give us a reminder that these guys have had two hard-hitting matches before, it could have built this matchup a lot better, because otherwise it comes in really damn cold. Cold as a deli sandwich. You know, because no Big Hurt isn't on anyone's mind because he's not really highlighted on AEW week to week outside of just being backup for Chris Jericho, being his bodyguard. But anyway, we have Hager attack from the entrance. Great spine buster, by the way, from Wardlow. They fight to the outside a little bit. They get back in, and he does another great power bomb, and he ends up successfully defeating Wardlow. And in the midst of the match, Brock Anderson and Arn Anderson ended up fighting off with the other two members of the Jericho Appreciation Society, Matt Maynard and his tag team partner, formerly known as 2.0 in NXT. I don't know what they call themselves. I think Daddy Magic, Cool Hands Luke, some shit like that. But yeah, they end up fighting off with Arn, and I didn't like that. They're getting ready to attack Arn, and Arn goes in his jacket pocket, and he pulls out a finger gun. The gun he used when Cody said you got to pull the trigger. Yeah, it's a great meme that I've definitely used a lot. Listening to people and stuff like that. But you can't tell me it wouldn't have been better if he had a lead pipe or 2x4, something of that manner. And why are you guys running off? I get you guys, Jericho's flunkies, the Stooges, members of his entourage, whatever you want to call yourself. But why are you running from a damn finger? Two grown men running from a finger. And by the end of Wardlow's match, Christian and Luchasaurus? Yeah, Luchasaurus is on the screen. And at first you can't even really hear the audio. The audio guy messed up. And so the live audience and the audience at home missed the first portion of whatever they were saying. And then finally he comes on. He ends up making a challenge to Wardlow regarding the AEW TNT title for Saturday's debut episode of Collision. And then they also point down and say, hey, we got your manager. And Orton's now bust open, which is similar to what happened to Brock about a week ago. So at least they had some continuity right there. But I'm always happy anytime Christian's on my TV, man. Christian is so underrated as being a heel. To me, the guy's been a top 5 promo guy in AEW since he got there, especially since the heel turn. Only guy I feel better than this guy on the mic in the company is CM Punk and MJF. Honest to God, true. And so, with the audio being off, I will say it also messed up the intensity of everything. And so we also find out we have a backstage promo with Orange Cassidy and saying how someone usually challenges him about him. And in steps Zack Sabre Jr. from New Japan, the New Japan TV title champion. And he's challenging for the AEW Intercontinental Championship. And then you see Daniel Garcia pop up like, hey, you don't even work here. I'm an entertainer. I want a shot at that belt. And then he starts asking, where's Shibata? Because he also wants the Ring of Honor Peer Championship back in his possession. And so the match is booked with Orange Cassidy and Shibata versus Zack Sabre Jr. and Daniel Garcia heading into Forbidden Door. I definitely think that planted the ceilings of possibly having a 4-way, and that was confirmed on this episode, the next episode of Dynamite as well. Looking forward to that tag match. I think it's going to be a banger, in the words of my boy Sheamus, you know. And so then we also get to Sky Blue versus Toni Storm. Sky was very aggressive. She was also challenging for the AEW Women's Championship. I liked that the crowd was definitely fired up and really behind Sky. But of course, Toni Storm don't be far from wherever Ruby Soho. I don't know why I said Ruby Rose. But Ruby Soho definitely helped her, and they used the numbers game to their advantage. And slowly but surely, Toni Storm was able to take over and get the win. I will say they must see a lot of big stuff in Sky Blue because she even kicked out of Toni Storm's finisher. She kicked out of the Storm Zero, which I really was like, whoa, shit. Nobody don't really do that. You know what I'm saying? That's a big thing in AEW because they're really good about protecting finishes. They kick out of a lot of shit, but they're kind of good about the finishers. And so we also see here that it was announced from an interview with Jungle Hook that Jungle Boy Jack Perry is going to be facing off against Sonata, the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, and he's very new into his reign as well, as I think he just won it at a big show not long ago. So I don't see him losing that belt. I do see Jack maybe having a heel turn somewhere down the line, possibly on Hook, to give them a program and also get some character development as he suffered two big losses recently, one being the loss in the Fatal 4-Way at Double or Nothing with the Four Pillars match, and then now having to come out and lose again to Sonata. It's supposed to start affecting his confidence. It's supposed to make him feel some type of way. And so I'm looking forward to that program. And then we get to the last match of the evening where we have the Elite, the Young Bucks, Hangman Page and the Young Bucks versus the Elite, versus the Black Combat Crew. And that's Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Yuta Wheeler. Great interest by the guys using the Wayward Son with Kansas. I always enjoy hearing that song. They don't overuse it. They only use it when the Elite enter together, not just one or two guys. I love the intensity of the Mox versus Hangman rivalry. Seeing them two get in each other's face was awesome. You can tell there's some real dislike there. I looked at real. Immediately they started throwing blows. And then it went to fisticuffs. And like I said, I love the outfits of the Young Bucks. They always have some nice-ass sneakers on there. I've seen these guys wrestle in Dior's before, man. Like, that shit is unreal. Got respect for that. But they was wrestling in the Shacks today because they matched the black and white that they had on. I had those as a kid. Definitely miss it. And we see that dive that Max did to the outside absolutely had no steam. I did enjoy the springboard X Factor that I think it was Matt Jackson did. The German on the floor by Yuta Wheeler was, executed so smooth. And then we even get a call back with the Doomsday Device. And I like Brian Danielson on commentary. I do wish we could hear more from him in the ring. He was talking a lot of hot shit about the BCC. And of course, I don't know where the Elite end up getting the win with the buckshot lariat by Hangman Adam Page on Wheeler Yuta. And I know Daniel and the Blackpool Combat Club are going to be kind of disgusted about taking that loss. And so then it breaks down into pure chaos. Because as the match is over and everything is going on, you get the Blackpool Combat Club attack the Elite, and they're using a numbers game because Daniel heads to the ring. You get Takashita, who runs out and continues the assault and helps out the Elite as they were trying to recover an advantage. And who comes out but Kenny Omega? Actually, I take that back. Eddie Kingston came out, and Eddie comes out and puts the boots and put the fisticuffs to Claudio. And as they're brawling and so, Eddie gets knocked out, and who comes out? Takashita, who comes in and lays a knee on Eddie and lays his ass out. And then who should appear? Nobody but the cleaner, Kenny Omega. And Omega comes out and him and Takashi still throwing him in the middle of the ring. V-Trigger! Boom! Takashi's on his ass. And the next thing you know, we look, Omega turns his head. I guess he getting turned it all the way right. But out of nowhere, who appears? None other than his Forbidden Door opponent for the New Japan United States Strong Championship. But Will Ospreay. And Will Ospreay sneaks in and he's just posing at the end, knowing that he just laid Kenny the fuck out. And then as Kenny's starting to come through, I should say, he gives him another sliced bread. Puts Kenny down this time. And I like them ones that he had on too. They looked like it was green and white. Them things was pressure. But yeah. All in all, definitely great episode of Dynamite. I give it 5 out of 5 stars. A lot of storyline development. Really excited for Forbidden Door and beyond. But I want to say thank y'all for tuning in and listening. And please, if you haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe button. We need it all that you can get. You know, the more you guys follow, the more I can make more content and really be getting immersed in this because I really like talking about wrestling. Really love it. Been watching wrestling for over 34 years since I was about 6 months old. Ain't stopped since. I will be 35 in August. So this has been a long journey. But I appreciate you guys staying with me. I hope everybody doing good. I want to say y'all take care, take these. Because I'll be coming back and doing my recap of Collision most likely tomorrow of the debut episode with the returning CM Punk. All right, y'all take care. We out.